Who says you need a piano to play Piano Man? Let's prove those people wrong by mastering this Billy Joel masterpiece on the guitar. Now before we get into it, this guitar I'm playing, it's one of the best selling guitars in the world. If you're curious to know why, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. This one came from Sweetwater, which is the #1 online music retailer for guitars. Now buying a guitar online might sound daunting to some, but with Sweetwater, it's a whole different story because they go to incredible lengths to ensure every guitar is nothing short of perfect. Now, every guitar priced at $399 and above goes through Sweetwater's rigorous 55-point evaluation. And this isn't just a quick checkup, we're talking a detailed inspection, play testing, and even individually photographing and weighing each guitar. When Sweetwater sent me this guitar, they didn't just ship it out, they sent me detailed photos of this very exact guitar before it even left the facility, and this is what you can expect when buying a guitar from Sweetwater. It's this level of detail and care that sets Sweetwater apart. And again, if you want to know more about this particular guitar and Sweetwater, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Finally, this lesson simply teaches you one song, but if really understanding and learning the guitar is something you've always wanted to do, but you didn't know where to start, then check out the Guitar Zero to Hero Premium course and membership, which gives you all the guidance to play with confidence. Link is in the description. So let's jump into it. This song might seem a little daunting because of the number of chords, the length of the song, and also all the different sections, but it's actually not too difficult. All we need to do is break this song up into 7 different chord progressions that we need to learn, and the song is just comprised of those parts. The structure of the song is a little bit difficult to memorize, but if you have it written down somewhere, over time you should be able to memorize it. So first off, let's talk about the strumming pattern that we'll be using throughout the song. Now this song is in 3/4 timing, so if we were to count that out, it would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's 2 different strumming pattern rhythms that we can use. The first one is really simple, and we can just strum down strums on the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or the second strumming pattern that we can use, that I'll be using for the rest of this lesson, goes like this. Down, down, up, down, up. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You'll notice that the down strums always align with the actual beat. I'll demonstrate how these sound different later with the first chord progression. So let's start with our intro chords. There's 2 lines of chords here. We're going to start with a C chord, and then we're going to go to a G/B. So from the C, you can just keep your index finger where it is, but we're going to move our middle finger up to the 2nd fret of the 5th string, that B note, and pinky finger will go onto the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And we just want to focus on those middle 4 strings. We don't want the 6th string ringing out, and you can do that by lightly touching it with your thumb, reaching over the top, or even with your ring finger lightly touching that string. So that's G/B. Then we go to F over A, or F/A. For the F over A, we keep our index finger on that 1st fret of the 2nd string, ring finger goes on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Now we're going to focus on the middle 4 strings, so we can have the open 5th string ringing here. That's the A bass note in this chord. So we're just focusing on those middle 4 strings. Our next chord is C/G. So from the F/A, we're going to keep our index finger where it is, move our middle finger up to the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and our ring finger up to the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Now you can use your pinky finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So that's a really full sounding C/G, but what I actually like to do here, and what I prefer, is to really just emphasize that G note by removing that C underneath. So I don't have my pinky finger fretting that 3rd fret of the 5th string. I actually have that 5th string muted, and that's quite easy to do as you reach your ring finger over the top to hit that G note. It will just lightly touch the string below it. So that's the C/G I like to use. That's the first line of chords, and together with the strumming pattern, 1, 2, 3. For the second line of chords, we go to an F chord. Now I like to play the F chord like this, with my thumb reaching over the top. Now you can play an F bar chord as well, but with this F, we just keep our index finger where it is, ring and pinky fingers on the 3rd fret of the 5th and 4th, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and if you can, reach your thumb over the top to hit the 1st fret of the 6th. You don't need to worry about the 1st string there, that can be muted. Now, if you can't get your thumb over the top to hit that 1st fret, you can just focus on those middle 4 strings, and that is effectively an F as well. So we have our F, then we go to a C/E. So to play that, it's a C chord, but we allow the open 6th string to ring out. And then we go to a D7 chord. So again, just keep your index finger where it is. Middle and ring finger will go on the 2nd frets of the 3rd and 1st strings. And we're strumming from the 4th string onwards. And finally, a G chord. Now we're going to play this G chord like this. It's a 3-finger G chord with our ring finger playing the root note. So 3rd fret of the 6th string here, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th, and our pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. You can just focus on the top 3 or 4 strings too, if you can't get that pinky finger onto the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So the second line of chords, 1, 2, 3. And altogether the intro, 1, 2, 3. Now there's one little thing I do with the strumming pattern to make it sound better, and you can more clearly hear the bass notes. So on the first down strum of every bar, what I do is focus on the root note of the chord. So focus on the root note on that first down strum, and for the rest of the strumming pattern you can just do a regular strum. Like that. And then you can clearly hear the descending bass note, C, D, A, etc, etc. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3. That's one little tip to make that strumming sound better, but if you're a beginner, you can just focus on the rhythmic direction rather than targeting that bass note on the first down strum. If you wanted to change the strumming pattern a little bit and just try playing on the beats, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, we could do that as well, and that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, you'll notice that I focused on the bass note of each chord on the very first down strum, and then for the rest of the strumming pattern, I was just strumming the chord regularly or focusing on those higher strings. Next, we move on to what I call break 1, and we actually use this in the outro as well. For the first line of chords, it's the same as the first line of chords for the intro. For the second line of chords, we have our F, then we go up to a G, and the third line of chords, we have our C, F, C. Then we're going to play a few single notes here, and this all occurs on the 4th string or the D string. So we're going to play the 3rd fret of the 4th string with our ring finger, then down to the 2nd fret, and then the open string. And they're all on the beat as well, so 1, 2, 3. So the third line of chords in total. And that's played through twice. So that's it for break 1, which is also used in the outro, and that will sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Next we get to the verse and chorus chord progression. There's 4 lines of chords here. Now for our first 2 lines of chords, it's identical to the intro, so nothing new to learn there. The third line of chords is the same as the first line of chords, and for the fourth line of chords we have F, G, and then C for 2 bars. So it's pretty simple. It's just comprised of chords we've already learnt. The structure is just a tiny different, and it will sound like this. 1, 2, 3. The next chord progression to learn is break 2. Now break 2 is very similar to the 3rd and 4th lines of chords for the verse. So let's just take the 3rd and the 4th lines of the verse, but we're adding 2 extra bars to it, which is an F over C, which looks like this. So it's basically just our F chord, but we just focus from the 5th string onwards. So the middle 4 strings here. We don't need to get that F root note. So break number 2, 1, 2, 3. Next, let's talk about the verse variation, which is used in verse number 3 and verse 7 of this song. Similar to break number 2, we're just adding 2 bars of F over C to the end of this chord progression. So it's effectively the same as the verse chords, just with 2 extra bars of F over C. If you want to see that in context, just go to the playthrough at the end of the song, but there's no need for me to play that. The next section to learn is the interlude, and there's 3 lines of chords here. So for the first line of chords, we have an A minor, then we have an A minor over G. So we just keep all our fingers here and we use our pinky finger to reach over and hit the G note, or the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And if you happen to mute the 5th string whilst doing so, that's okay as well. If this is too difficult for you, reaching that pinky over, you could basically just play a C/G shape that we learnt earlier, but not with our pinky finger, just with the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Don't put your pinky finger down on that 3rd fret of the 5th string. This is an alternative which will sound very similar, but the ideal chord is the A minor with the G root note. So we play that for 1 bar, then we go to a D/F sharp. Now you can play the D/F sharp with your thumb reaching over the top to hit that F sharp note, the 2nd fret of the 6th string, and just having a D chord underneath it, like that. Or you can play it like this: index and middle finger on the 2nd frets of the 6th and 3rd, and ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. You can play your D/F sharp like that. And this is how I'll play my D/F sharp. Now I like playing a full F bar chord here from this D/F sharp because your index finger is already on the 6th string. If you were to play the D/F sharp with your thumb though, I'd probably suggest using the F chord with the thumb, because that's easier than transitioning from the thumb and then getting your index finger up here for an F bar. So again, if you're using this D/F sharp, it's probably easier to move to a F bar chord like this. But if you're using this D/F sharp, then probably easier to use an F with the thumb. 1, 2, 3. For the second line chords, it's almost identical, except instead of going to an F, we stay on this D/F sharp for 2 bars of music. So the second line. And then for the third line of chords, we have a G chord. Now I'm just going to play this as a 4-finger G chord, like that. Then we go to an F, C/E, and then a D5. So D5 is basically the same as a D chord, but I just focus really on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. From the D chord, I actually lift my middle finger and have that 1st string muted. So D5 there. So the final line chords. That's it for the interlude, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. The final chord progression to learn is used in the piano solo, or the instrumental section. The first 2 lines of chords are similar to the interlude, where we have our A minor to our A minor over G. But instead of going to a D/F sharp, we're then going to go to a D chord and then to an F chord for the first line of chords. So that line of chords is played through twice. For the second line of chords, we have our A minor to A minor/G, and then D chord for 2 bars. So the second line of chords. And then the third line of chords is the same as the third line of chords for the interlude. So the piano solo section will sound like this. So that's it for the 7 chord progressions that we need to learn for this song. Now let's talk about the song's structure, and it is fairly long, but let's break it down. So we start off with the intro, then we have break number 1. Then we have a verse, break progression number 2, then we have another verse, then an interlude, a chorus, break 1 chord progression again. Then we have verse number 3, which is the verse variation. Then we have a regular verse, which is verse 4, another interlude, verse 5, the break 2 chord progression, then verse 6. Then there's the piano solo or instrumental, another chorus, the break 1 chord progression, then verse number 7, which is another verse variation, verse number 8, another interlude, the chorus, and then finally the outro, which is also the same as the break 1 chord progression. So again, this structure is kind of confusing. It's not as typical as your standard verse, chorus, bridge, chorus song structure, but I think that's what makes this song pretty awesome, is how complex it is, but how memorable and catchy it is as well. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. A big thanks to my friend Eric for lending his awesome vocals to this playthrough. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
It's 9 o'clock
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here. Or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.